What if I told you that everything people tell you on how to get in shape is a lie? People want to see you do well, but not do better than them. And because of that, people will tell you things that aren't 100% true about getting in shape. And what that can do to you is make you think that you can't do it. It forms self-limiting beliefs in us. So what this video is about is the top 5 things that you've been lied to about fitness and what is actually true about getting in shape. You might be asking, how do I know all of this? Because I've dedicated the last 7 years of my life to getting in this type of shape. I've gone through countless trial and error periods trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work, what's the most sustainable, and what also yields the most results with the least amount of effort. Now, I'm not saying you don't have to put effort into getting in shape, but most people think that it requires more work, more struggle, more sacrifice than it actually takes. People think that you have to completely change your lifestyle in order to get in shape. I'm going to be showing and debunking the top 5 myths that are keeping you out of shape that no one else is going to tell you. Without further ado, let's get into it.
All right, guys, so let's get into it. I'm going to go through this in one take, and my dog's in the background playing with her toys, so if she makes noise, bear with me. All right, so top 5 reasons you're not ripped and you're actually getting lied to. And I can say that because I see what's out there on social media and what people are saying in the gym to each other, like, oh, I'm spending so much time at the gym, I'm doing all these things, and it just makes you have these limiting beliefs that getting in shape is like the hardest thing in the world, which I'm going to tell you right now it's not. It definitely takes time and a decent amount of effort and a lot of consistency over a long period of time, but anyone can do it. Anyone can implement fitness into their current lifestyle and get in shape. And I'm going to go through those, and I'm going to go through every single myth/lie that you've been told. So the first one is about time. This is what you've been told, that you have to work out 2 to 3 hours a day to get ripped, which honestly couldn't be farther from the truth, and I am going to debunk that and tell you what actually is true. This is when the reason of I don't have time to work out is actually valid, because who has time to spend 2 to 3 hours a day at the gym? Not many people, unless you're like a full-time bodybuilder, don't have a job, don't go to school, don't have a family, don't really have much going on other than, just working out, which, some people do, which is great. And those people are usually in decent shape just because they've been doing it for so long. But you don't have to. You don't have to. Like, if you're just out of shape right now, not even close to where you want to be, you can get away with short workouts. No one, like I said, no one has 2 to 3 hours a day to spend at the gym, let alone not just at the gym, but also on top of that, doing all the meal prep that you have to do, doing all the meal prep that you think you have to do as well. That just takes up so much time. And that's why so many people say they don't have time to get in shape, because they think you have to do all this stuff. You think you have to give all of this time up for the gym, which you don't have to. You really don't. You really don't. Not only is it unsustainable to do this, but in a lot of cases, it's not optimal or really necessary. Especially if you're pretty new to it, going to the gym for 2 to 3 hours a day, you're going to be overtraining. You're going to be exhausted. Not only is it going to take up a lot of time, but other areas of your life might fall behind because you're going to be tired. You're going to be fatigued all day. And if you're spending that much time at the gym, that means you're probably sacrificing time doing other things, like family time, for example. So what's actually true is that you can absolutely spend 45 to 60 minutes per session and go to the gym 4 to 5 times a week. That equates to 4 to 6 hours roughly a week. And I'm sure pretty much anyone can make 4 to 6 hours a week. There's 168 hours in a week. I'm sure you could spend at least 6 of those hours to go to the gym. I know I certainly can. I know I certainly did, actually. When I was going to college full-time, working full-time, I would make time for the gym. And I would study a lot, too. If there's a will, there's a way. But you just have to understand that you do not have to spend countless hours a day in the gym, because that's just when it's unsustainable. A split you want to follow, a good split that you could follow that can make it so you're only in the gym 4 to 6 hours a week is chest, shoulders, back and traps, arms, and legs. That's what I follow to this day. It's efficient, it's quick, and it's really gotten me to where I am today. So there's no reason why you can't implement a similar split and see great results as well. You just have to be focused on the right movements, which I've gone over that in plenty of different videos. Emphasize on compound lifts, going to failure in every single working set. You're not going to be doing as many sets. You're going to be increasing the intensity per set, but your volume is going to be significantly lower. You don't need a whole lot of sets to stimulate muscle growth. In fact, if you're doing too many sets, that's just going to hinder your results. Overtraining is like almost as bad as not training at all. I mean, I think it's definitely better, but it's definitely not optimal. It's not going to give you the results that you're looking for. 4 to 6 working sets per muscle group. So you can go in and out of the gym with only doing sometimes like I don't know, 10-ish working sets. Around that. As long as the sets are intense, you're going to failure, doing a full range of motion, and focusing on mind-muscle connection, you're going to see great results. In fact, I would say it is definitely better to go to the gym, to only spend this much time at the gym, because you're going to have enough time to recover in between workouts. You're not going to have a whole lot of systemic fatigue. You're going to be able to have that energy to do other things in your day. Like, for example, work. You can work and have more mental clarity, spend more time with your kids, your family, and just overall improve your quality of life. You shouldn't make fitness your life, you know. You should make fitness a part of your life. That's a big one. Genetics. So I see this all the time, man. People think that genetics is everything. People think that what you've been told is that you have to have superior genetics in order to get ripped, which is not the case. Anyone can lose fat. Anyone can lose fat, and anyone can build muscle. Like I said, yeah, as I just mentioned, you just need the right information, right plan, right accountability, and right expectations, and put your effort into the right areas. Like, you can't be expecting to get in crazy shape in a month or two. It's just not going to happen. That's why fitness has to be a sustainable practice, and I'm going to go over that in a moment. The reason you're in your current shape is because of your habits and the choices you make on a day-to-day basis. It's not because of your genetics. A good example of this is Kyle from Nelk. If you guys don't know who that is, I'll put up his transformation on the screen here in a moment. If you guys don't know who that is, that's the guy from Nelk Boys. If you guys don't know who Nelk Boys are, they're like they're like really popular on YouTube. They do a lot of like partying, and they do podcasts and things. And Kyle is the main guy from Nelk. He was drinking a few times a week. I'm just kind of going off of what I've heard. I obviously don't know the guy, but he was drinking quite a bit, you know, doing a lot of partying. He was just not in the shape he wanted to be in. All he did was change his habits. He started drinking every Saturday night. That was the only time he would go out and drink. And then he would dedicate a lot of the other time to work and fitness. And he had a crazy transformation in, I think it was like 90 days or something like that. So that's a prime example that if you just change your habits, you can get in great shape. But yeah, that's a great example. He went from, he went from living kind of like a degen life, just partying all the time, chasing girls, to great shape, probably feeling a lot better. You can just tell, man. Like, just replace the negative habits with positive ones. It's going to make a huge difference in your life. So what is actually true? Genetics are irrelevant unless you want to be a top bodybuilder. Unless you want to be, a top bodybuilder, then yeah, you're going to need superior genetics, like top 0.01 genetics to be a top bodybuilder. But chances are, if you're watching this video, chances are you don't want to be a top bodybuilder. Because there's a lot more that goes into bodybuilding than just being able to lose fat and build muscle. You have to have the right proportions, muscle inserts, and also a cocktail of performance-enhancing drugs. So that's not really irrelevant here. So genetics, they're off the table. And I will say, some people do have better starting points, but that does not mean it's going to be easier or harder for you to get into shape. Maybe it'll take someone a little bit less time to see a six-pack than you, but just don't compare yourself to them. Everyone's different. Who cares? Don't compare yourself to others, especially based on something outside of your control. Like, for example, your genetics. You don't have control over your genetics. You weren't able to pick your parents. So why would you complain about that? You shouldn't. Genetics, irrelevant, unless you want to be a top bodybuilder. You can get ripped, jacked, and shredded if your daily habits contribute to those outcomes. And what I mean by that is, don't focus on just getting jacked, just getting ripped, or shredded. What you need to do is come up with the daily activities you would need to do on a consistent basis for a long period of time to make it unreasonable that you don't achieve those results that you're looking for. I've said this quite a bit, actually. Like, let me give you an example. So let's say you want to lose 20 pounds in 3 months. That's a solid goal, not gonna lie. If you just look big picture and see your results after a day by day, you're gonna get discouraged, because what you see on a day-to-day basis overnight is not gonna be much. However, if you don't even focus on that, you let time do its thing, you do the daily habits that would contribute to that goal, and then 3 months go by and you look back and you achieve that goal, it's going to make it so much easier for you to stick to. Just focus on the daily habits, focus on the inputs, focus on what you can control. Genetics aren't one of them. All right, food, another big one. This is what you've been told, that you have to give up your favorite foods in order to get in shape. Totally incorrect. Totally incorrect. I would not be in the shape right now if I had to give up pancakes. I fucking love pancakes. I just had one like an hour ago with my post-workout meal. I put some sugar-free chocolate syrup on it. It smacks. You can't eat like complete shit and expect to get in shape. I will say that. Like, you can't eat fucking 3 pizzas a day, drink soda, and just eat like dog shit and expect to get in shape. It doesn't work like that. Like I said, you do have to put some effort into it, but not as much as you think. No one is 100% disciplined all the time unless there's like some sort of end goal. Like, for example, a bodybuilding prep. People do preps for like 16 to 12 weeks. They diet down. And a lot of the times what you'll see is that after they diet down, they've been restricting themselves for so long, is that after the show, they'll binge eat and put on like 20 pounds in a couple days. I'm sure you've seen it on YouTube. Like, people do that all the time, and it's just so unhealthy. And the reason that is because what they're doing is not sustainable. What they're doing to get in the shape they need to get in to step on stage is not sustainable. That's irrelevant. I'm not going over bodybuilding preps. What is actually true is that you can eat your favorite foods. You just need to be more mindful. The best way to do that is by tracking your calories and your macros into MyFitnessPal. It's super simple. It takes an extra 1 to 2 minutes per meal that you can just, so you don't have to second guess the foods that you're eating. What I do is I follow a 85-15 caloric rule, where 85% is clean foods and 15% is anything else. I just make sure I hit my protein and my calories. That's the main thing. And I like to keep it clean just because that makes me feel better, like, throughout the day. If I eat shit, I mean, I guess I technically could eat shit foods and still be able to hit my protein, my calories and everything, but I just won't feel as good throughout the day, so I don't do that. And this usually leaves enough calories depending on how many calories you need to eat per day, but this usually leaves enough so you can have one of your favorite foods per day. Like, for me, I have pancakes every single day. And I'm sure there's like even low calorie options that taste just as good for some of your favorite foods. So you could even increase the quantity like that. But again, you'd have to track it into MyFitnessPal to make sure you're not second guessing yourself and that you're still eating in accordance with your goals. And again, you can still make clean food taste good. Like, the way I have my chicken now is I put it in the air fryer. I put some seasoning on it. I put it in the air fryer. Man, it's delicious. It's and there's like you don't have to put like any oil or anything like that. You don't have to bake it where it's super dry. You don't have to boil it where it's, boiled chicken. I used to do that, not gonna lie. But you don't have to make clean food taste like shit. That's another big misconception. I honestly could have made that an entire slide. But yeah, the diet doesn't have to be shit. The diet doesn't have to be unenjoyable for you to get into shape. You just have to be more mindful, really, at the end of the day, and make sure you focus on protein. So sustainability, this is another big one. What you've been told is that you have to absolutely suffer to get into shape. Unless you're doing a bodybuilding contest, you do not have to suffer in order to get into shape. And again, those guys who are doing those bodybuilding contest preps, they're trying to be more than just in shape. They're trying to be like 5 to 6% body fat. That's not what we're going for here. We're just trying to get our abs to show maybe like 8 to 10% body fat. That's kind of what we're going for. I would not be in the shape that I am right now if what I was doing wasn't sustainable, because I've been doing the same thing for practically 7 years straight. I enjoy what I do. Like, I enjoy the process. Fortunately, I was able to implement fitness into my life when I was probably the busiest I ever was, back when I was doing school and work full time. And that's just made it very sustainable for me to stick to for a long period of time. And I will say, like, it does take time to find out what will actually be sustainable for you. And it might take you a year or two if you do it all on your own, because you're going to be doing a lot of second guessing. I'm not going to lie, because I definitely did. I did a lot of second guessing where I would think I'm doing the right thing, but I didn't see any results. And I was just like, it took me like 2 years to actually like get a physique where people were like, oh, okay, this guy definitely works out. It took me a lot of time, but again, I was going at it all on my own. And I went through a lot of trial and error to figure out like what actually works for me, what I can stick to, what is sustainable, and what gives me great results. So what's actually true? Getting in shape is easier than you might think. Again, 4 to 6 hours a week in the gym. You don't have to give up your favorite foods, and you can make clean foods actually taste good if you know how to do it. You just need more patience because it doesn't happen overnight. Again, going back to output-based thinking. Focus on the inputs. If you just focus on the inputs for a long period of time, things will fall into place. Again, yeah, input-based thinking is greater than outputs-based thinking. Lifestyle. So what you've been told, that you have to make fitness your life if you want to get ripped. You do not have to. No one wants to give up what they love to get into shape. Yeah, getting in shape's great and all. Like, yeah, you build confidence. Definitely can improve your quality of life if you don't have to sacrifice everything to get there. Unless you're a bodybuilder, I keep going back to this analogy because I think people see like what these bodybuilders do and think that that's what they have to do, which is not the case. You don't need to make fitness a full-time job. You can implement it. You can implement fitness into your current lifestyle and still get the results that you want. And this is something I see a lot too. No one likes it when people make fitness their entire personality. Like if you want to go out with friends, like you want to get some food, you don't want to be that guy who brings a fucking Tupperware of rice chicken and broccoli and be like, oh, I'm sorry guys, I can't eat that. I can't eat the pizza. Oh, it's not on my meal plan. You don't have to do that. You can even drink alcohol in moderation, obviously. You don't want to be like getting fucked up every weekend, but you know what I mean. So you don't have to let fitness consume your life. You can still do the things you enjoy with fitness. Yeah, and I can imagine you don't want to even spend less time with friends or family to get into shape. Those are sacrifices you do not want to make. I know I don't want to make them. I know I don't want to sacrifice my personal life in order to get in shape. Yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's nice getting in shape, but it's not the meaning of life. I mean, maybe it is for some people, but it doesn't have to be. What is actually true, as I've said before, you can absolutely implement fitness into your current lifestyle, into what you're doing right now. Just maybe cut out a couple of the bad habits, replace them with positive ones, like going to the gym instead of smoking weed and watching Netflix. Man, you're going to be golden. Yeah, like I said, with just a few minor adjustments, you can get the physique you have always wanted. You just have to have the right guidance and accountability to actually get there, as well as the right information. Or you could or you can try to figure it out all on your own, which will definitely take a lot more time, but it's definitely an option. It's better than not trying. Yeah, remove the bad habits, replace them with positive ones. It'll increase your quality of life. You'll feel better. You'll be able to set an example for the people around you. And you can spend just as much time with the people you want to be around, but this time you're going to be able to set a good example for them. You're going to be showing them that you're improving your life. You're improving your quality of life. You're getting in shape. Best case scenario is that they see that as well, and then they want to get into shape too. Next thing you know, you started a bandwagon effect in your friend group. Everyone's hitting the gym. Maybe you guys prefer to go hit the gym together instead of go out and get drinks. I don't know. Maybe a mix of both. I don't know, man. All right, guys. That's it. 5 myths that you've been lied to about fitness, why you are still out of shape. Hopefully this video helped you and kind of guided you in the right direction, because I've seen it so many times where actually men will DM me, because I'm a fitness coach. Men will DM me and they'll be saying they can't stick to their diet. They don't have the time for the gym. They just can't make it work. And I'm just kind of baffled. I'm like, man, people are still believing this stuff. So that's why I made this video. Hopefully it's helpful. That's it for me today. A little bit of a longer one, but hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.